Hello, dear fans, friends, and subscribers. Let me tell you first that please bear with me today, dear friends and subscribers of Cricket Happenings, as my throat is very sore. But as you all know, every time when I come and do this daily cricket show, it really reinvigorates me. So basically, just bear with me, but I would definitely, as you know, this is a daily cricket show and I do it with lots of passion. So I'm going to keep it a bit with less excitement, so please bear with me here. So, dear friends and subscribers of Cricket Happenings, well, on this particular cricket show, well, the one-off T20 match today was won by the West Indies against England. They won the match by 21 runs. This is just one match that they're going to play. It's a one-off T20, and West Indies will be very happy that they put it across England. So they maintained their hold over England, I would say, after this was probably the T20 match which was played after the T20 World Cup. This was one which was played, so definitely they're maintaining the hold, which I'll be talking about. And Chris Gayle and Evan Lewis really sparked off a wonderful partnership where both really went absolutely berserk on the English bowlers. They raced a century partnership at the halfway overs. It's only because of, I would say, the West Indies definitely lost their way after both Lewis and Gale fell, as eight wickets fell for 70 runs, and they went on to, but eventually that turned out to be a winning target. For England, it was Alex Hales with a wonderful quick fire innings of 43 of just 17 deliveries. We'll come back to that. And also, it's the beginning. I'll be doing a brief preview of the India versus Australia as the 5-match ODI series is about to begin at the M.A. Chidambaram Stadium. So actually, in Chennai, and so that is the first match which is going to happen between India and Australia, and one is really waiting for the first ODI which is going to happen, and I will be doing a brief preview of that particular match. As you know, this is going to be the first ODI which is going to be played, and one is really waiting to have a stab at that, no doubt about it. So that is something that I'll be previewing, and other than that, we'll also have a look at cricket. Yes, there is one news which is coming in, which was not a surprise at all. As you know, Duminy of South Africa has been really struggling, as you all know. But finally the news came that Duminy has called time on not only on his Test career, also on his first-class cricket career. So, but he'll still be available for ODIs and T20s, I reckon. And as you know, as often the case nowadays, we see the teams actually, the players actually leaving one format of the game, retiring, and then staying in the other format of the game. And that's what Duminy has precisely done. And also, we'll have a look at some cricket news. But first, I'm going to talk about the match. The first match will be the one-off T20 match which happened between West Indies and England. Well, I have to say the one-off T20 match was played at Chesterley Street in Durham, and I can say that it was a very chilly day out there at Chesterley in Durham. We could even see the commentators having lots of shawls on them, like Nasser Hussain, David Lloyd, and the other commentator. They were all absolutely fully covered, and we could see that it was also telling on the batsmen and the bowlers, as it was extremely cool there at Chesterley Street in Durham. So let's start off here. So the toss was won. It was a good toss to win for England, and England decided that West Indies will bat first. But West Indies started off with Chris Gayle and Evan Lewis, this explosive opening pair, and David Willey was the one who actually had to bear the brunt of it initially when Chris Gayle smashed him for 2 6s. And then Evan Lewis went after the other bowler, which was, I think, no, it was not. In fact, Morgan decided to press in Joe Root to bowl his off spin, and Joe Root, I thought, in the 2 overs that he bowled in the power play, bowled very well. But Tom Curran, when he came in, Evan Lewis, who was not really able to time the ball when Joe Root was bowling, definitely started his fireworks in a very, very thunderous fashion as he hit 2 6s and 2 4s in that over of Tom Curran, and after that there was no looking back. It was either Gale or Lewis smashing the ball to all parts of the field. They went after everyone. Chris Jordan was hit to the tune, Liam Plunkett was hit, but it was Tim Curran and Jordan, everyone. And before one could realize, 10 overs were bowled, and Chris Gayle and Lewis was, and what was Chris Gayle, as you know, he hits the stand and deliver shot. And Evan Lewis, as I told you, is also someone who keeps his head absolutely still, is a very, very exciting cricketer. And Evan Lewis showed us why today when he picked up his second 50 in his T20 matches of his career. And Gayle and Lewis started plundering runs, and the England were really at a loss to know as to how to stop the bleeding, as there were 104 runs which was taken. Sorry, it was a 77-run partnership. Beg your pardon there. It was a 77-run partnership that happened in just 6.3 overs. So that was smashing stuff in 39 balls. Gayle and Lewis put on 77 runs. And the first to go was Chris Gayle. Now that was a very lackadaisical approach on the part of Gayle. He was the one who initially initiated the run, and before he could reach the non-striker, it was a wonderful piece of fielding by Jason Roy, sliding onto the ball and picking up and throwing it to Plunkett, who removed the bails. And Gayle was gone after thorough entertainment, 40 of just 21 deliveries, 3 fours. And Evan Lewis was at the crease, joined in by Marlon Samuels. But then Plunkett, after that, after Gayle left, Evan Lewis continued to play some good strokes, and Evan Lewis was very powerful, let me tell you, as he played some wonderful strokes, and he got 51 of 28 deliveries, 6 fours and 3 6s. But so this was the West Indies score, thanks to Gayle and Lewis. They had gone on the halfway mark. They were sitting on 106, and that was a very, very good score to have. But later on, what happened was not something that West Indies would have wanted. At the space of just 70 runs, 8 wickets fell to leave West Indies at 176 for 9. Marlon Samuels, and then it was Plunkett and Rashid totally getting on to the nerves of the West Indian batsmen, as Plunkett really shown some good change of pace. He picked up the wickets. He also hit the deck bowler, as you know, Plunkett. He picked up Marlon Samuels for 10 of 13, that was 1 4. Walton crashed a 6 on his 13 of 8 balls before it was Rashid who actually did him in by getting him caught by Willie. Pollard was cheaply dismissed, caught by Curran on the bowling of Plunkett for 6. And then it was Roman Powell who entertained the crowd with a very hard hit 28 of just 19. It was a very impressive 28. He was the one who really pushed gave the final thrust to the innings as long as he was there, as he slammed 28 of 19 deliveries, 1 4 and 2 6s. Brathwaite was bowled by Rashid for 2. Sunil Nareen trying to sweep Rashid, lost his stumps. Ashley Nurse gave it some real pivot here, as he was not out on 13 of 12 deliveries with 1 6. Jerome Taylor lost LBW ball Jordan for 1. Kesrick Williams was not out on 2. And West Indies definitely making 176 for 9. Definitely one thought that West Indies was definitely short of some runs here. Probably they could have reached the 200 mark if they had not collapsed. So looking at the bowling, Willie 2 overs, never bowled after that. He was slammed for 20 runs by Gayle and Lewis. Joe Root, who was used to the power play overs, definitely did a good job, 2 overs for 11. Tom Curran, 4 overs, got smashed for 46 with 1 wicket. Chris Jordan, 4 overs, went for 46 as well with 1 wicket. But it was Liam Plunkett and Rashid putting the brakes on the West Indian scoring. Not only doing that, picking up wickets at regular intervals to leave the West Indies at 176. Plunkett, 4 overs, no maiden. 3 for 27, did a splendid job. Adil Rashid doing a wonderful job as well. 4 overs, no maiden, 25 runs and 3 wickets. England were given a target of 177 runs to win the match, and they started off in bizarre fashion as Jerome Taylor, who was actually bowling the first over of the England innings, actually got a ball which actually swung and forced Jason Roy to reach at it, and all that Jason Roy could do of the very first ball that he received, he tried to put it past the point region, and it was nicely taken there by Evan Lewis. A very good catch and a very nice start for the West Indies here, chasing 170 for England, for West Indies here, with England chasing 177, 176. But Alex Hales was joined in by Joe Root. But Alex Hales, after Jason Roy's wicket fell, Alex Hales really took the West Indian attack by the scruff of the neck. I mean, what was good about Alex Hales, he was showing that he was in pretty good nick. And what one likes about Alex Hales is he has a very, very strong eye. In fact, even before the bowler could, he has a premeditated stance. He first starts going towards the leg side, then confuses the bowler coming to the offside, but still maintains his poise and plays his strokes to a real nicety. And that's what was the feature of Alex Hales. Whichever bowler was bowling, whether it was Jerome Taylor or Williams or Brathwaite, it didn't matter as far as Alex Hales was concerned. He really did a wonderful job, and he was definitely on the verge of actually breaking the record of the fastest 15 T20 cricket, which stands, as far as England is concerned, standing in the name of Ravi Bopara, who hit the 50 of 23 balls. But Alex Hales made a very quick fire 43 of 17 deliveries, 8 fours and 1 6, a marvellous knock from Alex Hales. And then Brathwaite actually hit the target as he clean bowled Alex Hales for 43. Joe Root could not do much. He was caught brilliantly by Brathwaite. Nurse was the right-arm off spinner. Nurse came into the attack, and Nurse gave them another big wicket of Joe Root. When Joe Root tried to clip a ball, he was caught by Brathwaite for 17 with 2 boundaries. Morgan fell cheaply to the bowling of Sunil Narine for 2 of 7 deliveries. And all that Josh Butler and Jonathan Bairstow did a good job contributing 30, Butler making 30 of 27 deliveries, 2 fours, was unable to play the ramp shot here, and Kesrick Williams, Brathwaite and the other bowlers took the pace of the ball, and as you know, it was a very tough situation because there was some bit of rain as well. The ball was easy to. I thought West Indies bowlers did a good job. They took the pace of the ball, and that helped matters. As Butler made 30 of 27 deliveries, 2 fours, was victim of the bowling of Williams. He was taken in the deep by Powell. Bairstow was taken by the substitute very well of the bowling of Brathwaite for 27. But then there was nothing to be done. Adil Rashid went to the bowling of Williams, and then Sunil Narine came in and bowled wonderfully well. He was the man of the match today. 4 overs, 15 runs, and bowled splendidly. And he is always a very tough nut to crack, as we all know. David Willey was coming down the wicket to Narine, and the pressure started increasing. And finally, in the final over, they needed 26 runs with Liam Plunkett and Curran at the crease. Jordan was dismissed for 6 of 7 balls, but Liam Plunkett in the previous over really got some runs as he went after Kesrick Williams. But then Brathwaite made sure that England wouldn't be getting this victory as he hit the timber of Liam Plunkett for 18 with 2 fours, and that was the end of the match. Current not out 155 all out. England losing the match by 21 runs. The bowling, as Jerome Taylor, 3 overs, 1 for 40, was very, very costly. Kesrick Williams did a fine job. 4 overs, he took out the diary, as we normally know. 4 overs, no matter 3 for 35, did a splendid job. Brathwaite was very economical. As a captain, he did a fine job. 3.3 overs, no matter 3 for 20. But look at the bowling figures for the man of the match. Sunil Narine, who turned it on. 4 overs no maiden, 2 for 15. Brilliantly done. Ashley Nurse was also impressive, 1 for 23 of 3. And Kieran Pollard bowled 2 overs for 17. So this was a one-off T20 match, and West Indies would be very proud that they got the victory. They won the one-off match, and Sunil Narine was the player of the match. So that really wraps it up as far as the one-off T20s. Now, with very little time to go, we go to the preview of the first ODI which is coming up. It's holding a lot of excitement. It's going to be played at the M.A. Chidambaram Stadium. And one knows that there's going to be a lot of excitement as far as the first ODI is concerned. They are starting this is the first ODI of the 5-match series between India and Australia. India are definitely on a high. They have been doing well. They have got a lot of victories. They have just beaten Sri Lanka in Sri Lanka. And the team, the only thing they lack is Shikhar Dhawan, who is not there. But Ajinkya Rahane, as you know, was the man of the match in the India-West Indies series. Ajinkya Rahane getting an opportunity as Dhawan would be out of the first 3 ODIs. So Rahane and Rohit Sharma to open. Virat Kohli will come one drop. Whether it is going to be Manish Pandey or KL Rahul, probably I think KL Rahul can be given one more chance against the Aussies here. But KL Rahul was a failure, as you know, against the Sri Lankans. So whether KL Rahul, after being put at number 2, has not got amongst the runs, so that would it prompt. But Manish Pandey has got 2 50s under his belt, so I think the selectors, Kohli might be prompted to have Manish Pandey in the ranks, and since these are the Aussies. So Kedar Jadhav, MS Dhoni, Dhoni, as you know, Ravi Shastri has definitely said that you can expect a few surprises. So one is waiting to see when Dhoni comes to bat, what are the surprises that are in store. Hardik Pandya, the X factor for India always now, is a permanent X factor for India, is a wonderful all-rounder, and the bowling will be in the hands of Bhuvaneshwar Kumar and Jasprit Bumrah, who have been doing a wonderful job with the ball, no doubt about it, and the spin would be in the hands of Ravindra Jadeja is back. So that is the news that I wanted to share, that Ravindra Jadeja has come back. The reason being, one of the spinners was missing, and that forced them to actually bring Ravindra Jadeja back into the team. So Ravindra Jadeja, with his all-round, he would definitely be playing for Akshar Patel. He's out of the squad after injuring his ankle during a practice session. And so that is the team composition. As far as the Aussies are concerned, they too have injury problems. Aaron Finch is out, so it would be David Warner and Travis Head actually opening the innings. And Travis Head, let me tell you, he's been successful. We saw that he has done well opening the innings against New Zealand, as I would remember, in the Chappell Hadley Trophy series. So he would be the one. So he's the one who will be opening the innings, and it's not going to be Aaron Finch. So definitely the Aussies are also having injury problems, and I'm sure it's going to be a full house tomorrow, currently with the Indians in great form. Stephen Smith will be the one coming at one drop. Peter Handscomb, to me, would be a sort of the binding factor in this Aussie team. If at all someone needs to hold the innings, and then the onus will definitely fall on Peter Handscomb. Glenn Maxwell, we all know what Glenn Maxwell can come up with. So Glenn Maxwell, Marcus Stoinis is in some good form as well. Matthew Wade, James Faulkner has said that he's going to really show his wares in this series against India. And then they have the all-round experience of Nathan Coulter-Nile and Patrick Cummins, the express bowler, and Adam Zampa. So all in all, it promises to be, and I'm told that whether how this is going to be, there's good forecast for thunderstorms, I'm told, on Sunday afternoon. But well, as you know, this is a day-night match, so whether one does not know whether that is going to really whether that is really going to affect, one does not know, but nevertheless one hopes that it stays away. I will come back to that later, but also I would have to catch up with saying on this before I actually end this daily cricket show, that JP Duminy of South Africa, not a surprise that he has been really struggling for runs, as you all know, has decided to retire from Test cricket. And let's have a look at what Duminy has done. JP Duminy has retired only from Test cricket with immediate effect. Also retired from first-class cricket, I am told. and Duminy played 46. Duminy played 46 Test matches, and as you know, he had a wonderful debut against Australia. As you would remember, started off with a century, and he was also a part of the best chase in Test cricket, the second best chase in Test cricket between Australia and South Africa, and that was there. And in all, he scored 6 centuries in his Test career. And as far as his useful off spin was concerned, it helped him claim 42 wickets. But definitely, I thought Duminy, after showing the early promise that he showed, definitely did not really live up to that particular reputation that he had when he made his debut. Nevertheless, so, and also Chamara Silva, as you would remember, an international cricketer from Sri Lanka, is a good batsman. He once used to play for Sri Lanka, has been banned from cricket for 2 years. So that is another news that I could share with you about Chamara Silva, who has been banned from international cricket for some wrongdoing. Well, dear fans and subscribers, it does not give me much leverage here to go forth on this cricket show. It's about time for me to wind up this cricket show by signing off for the day. Thank you.